Welcome to Virginia Medical Updates. My name is Alejandra Gonsalves, and today's topic is diabetes. Today on the show we have Farideh Abbasi. Farideh received her bachelor's in nursing from Indiana Purdue University, where she graduated with high distinction, and then she went on to get her master's of nursing from George Mason University. As a nurse practitioner, Farideh has been able to blend medical and nursing therapeutics while maintaining a holistic perspective to help maintain and treat chronic conditions, including cardiovascular disease, diabetes, and hypertension. Farideh has been practicing at Virginia Family Medicine since 2008. Farideh, tell us, what is a little bit of a background for diabetes around the world?
Sure. Thank you for having me tonight. I will be glad to talk about this subject. In order to respond to your questions about the epidemics and some background of diabetes throughout the world, I'm referring to this picture which explains about some statistics of diabetes throughout the world. These statistics actually has been given by International Diabetes Federation. And just looking at the numbers, in the impact of diabetes worldwide, in 2015, there have been 415 million people that have had diabetes.
Wow.
And it's predicted that in 2040, there will be 642 million people that will be diagnosed or impacted by this disease.
So it's only increasing. Can you give us a few details specifically on the United States?
Sure. So just going to the smaller scale, in the United States, according to American Diabetes Association, in 2010, there have been 26 million people that have had diabetes, and this number increased to 29 million people in 2012. So from this number in 2012, there have been 21 million people that have been diagnosed with diabetes, and about 8 million people that have been impacted by this disease, but they have not been diagnosed officially with this disease.
Okay.
And there is also 1.4 million people that each year are diagnosed with the disease. In the same year, 2012, there have been 86 million people that have been diagnosed with prediabetes, the condition prediabetes. Also, some of the researchers in the field of diabetes have predicted that by the year 2050, there will be 50% of the population in the United States that will be diagnosed with diabetes or prediabetes.
With that many people in the country that have this, what type of healthcare costs are associated with that?
Yes, so the healthcare impact of this disease is huge. Just considering that in 2010, the 7th leading cause of death in the United States has been diabetes.
Okay.
And in the same year, also, the diabetes has been the leading cause of blindness, amputations, the renal disease, actually renal failure, and also hospitalizations, also the diabetes has been associated with a number of conditions, with a number of cancers, arthritis, a number of basically disabilities, cognitive impairment, and renal and liver disease. And so considering this diabetes that is causing all of this disease, it has also caused major healthcare expenditure. Again, in 2012, it was estimated that about $245 billion expense has been toward diabetes and treatment of complications of disease, that from which about $176 billion has been spent for the medical expenses of this disease, and about $69 million has been spent for the loss of productivity because of this disease. So we can understand the huge impact of this disease on the healthcare expenditure.
So tell us, Farideh, what exactly is type 1 diabetes?
Considering this huge number of people that are affected by this disease, type 1 diabetes, the percentage of 5 to 10% of all of the people that are affected by the disease and have this condition, they have type 1 diabetes.
Okay, so it's not that big of a percentage compared to everyone else.
Exactly, so it's the lower percentage. In type 1 diabetes, the individuals have genetic predisposition, of course, to this disease, and with having this genetic predisposition, probably exposure to some kind of environmental toxins or maybe some viral infection, that causes the body respond and with this genetic predisposition respond to this condition and causes the body actually create some antibodies, which is called like autoimmune disease. Create some antibodies that attack the pancreas, and that causes the death of the beta cells in the pancreas. So with the type 1 diabetes, which is called also juvenile diabetes, because the individuals that are diagnosed with this type 1 diabetes, they are usually during the infancy and childhood. They are diagnosed with the disease, and because of the complications of the disease, they refer to the doctors because of dehydration, polyuria, which means frequent urination, and fatigue and increased thirst. So they refer to doctors and they are diagnosed with this condition. So in general, it's an autoimmune disease. They lose their beta cells, so the body or the pancreas is not able to produce the insulin. So that's why their blood sugar stays up high. And these are the people that they need insulin for their treatments.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about type 2 diabetes now.
Yes, so type 2 diabetes, which is the majority of people that are diagnosed with diabetes, have this condition, type 2 diabetes. And this is the one really is a metabolic disorder, and with a lot of different systems involved with this disease, and the kidney, brain, the gastrointestinal system, muscles, and adipose tissue. But the main focus and the main cause of actually type 2 diabetes is the condition which is called insulin resistance. So, and there is a direct link, and the major risk factor for this condition as insulin resistance is being overweight or obesity. In people that they have, of course, type 2 diabetes, there is, of course, genetic predisposition also to the disease. But what happens is the pancreas produces the insulin, and insulin as a hormone, it works like a key. And there are receptors on target tissues in the body, in muscles, in liver, in the myocardium, heart tissue, and different parts of the body. So the insulin actually attaches to these receptors on the tissue and works like a key that opens, this key opens and works with these receptors that helps the cells in the body use the blood sugar as a source of energy. So when this condition with insulin resistance happens, there is actually some malfunctioning of these locks or receptors in the tissue, and as a result, the insulin cannot function as a key because of malfunction of these receptors. And while the blood sugar is very high in the or sugar is very high in the blood, but the cells that they need this sugar as a source of energy, they are deprived of this source of energy. And this is a condition that we can refer as starvation in the case of abundance, which is sugar is very high in the blood, but the cells, they cannot use it as a source of energy. And usually these people are very fatigued and tired because they cannot use the sugar as a source of exactly.
So tell us quickly what's something that we could do, or a therapeutic option for that, for type 2 diabetes.
So As we said, the main issue with type 2 diabetes, insulin resistance, and the being, especially considering in the United States, one of the major risk factors are being overweight or obese, and that increases the risk of this insulin resistant condition with the insulin resistance. And what this type 2 diabetes, and considering all of these complications of diabetes and huge healthcare impact, this is a reversible condition.
Okay.
So in order to reverse this condition, reverse this insulin resistance, there are lifestyle changes that can be used as interventions in order to reverse this condition.
Okay.
And these lifestyle changes include keeping the weight. Of course, when we say obesity and being overweight is a risk factor of having type 2 diabetes, of course, losing weight and keeping the weight under control, it can really help with the controlling this condition. And of course, the major cornerstone of treatment of this disease is these lifestyle changes, which include weight loss, includes proper diet and nutrition, and exercise. They're very important.
So thank you again, Farideh, for being here with us to discuss this important topic on diabetes. And thank you for being a part of Virginia Medical Updates. My name is Alejandra Gonsalves, and today's program has been brought to you by Virginia Family Medicine. Virginia Family Medicine integrates alternative and functional medicine in their medical practice to complement their expertise in medical care. Their areas of focus are in weight management, preventative medicine, and holistic health.